Hey y'all, welcome back. If you're new here, my name's JoJo, and I tell my story, my life story here on YouTube about mental health, recovery, addiction, being in prison, and just living that type of life. But now I am in recovery, 5 years, June 8th, clean and sober. And also, if you're returning OG, mwah, welcome. Welcome back. Thank you. I love you. And thank you for your continued support and love. I will say before I get started, I do not glorify, glamorize prison, or think I'm cool, big and bad. No, that's not the case. I'm simply telling my story in hopes of helping people in many different ways in which I already have. Now, as you can tell by the topic, Lord knows if I don't have to change the topic because sometimes you do, or the title, because of YouTube. But, anyways, what it's really like in prison, y'all, my experience. Okay, so you get to prison, you you get there and you have to go through like a whole day's worth of seeing the doctor, getting mental tests, testing done, getting weight, all kinds of stuff. Um, Getting your uniforms and, your everything you need uh, for your bunk area or whatever, sheets and stuff like that. So, okay, say you're done with all that. It's been a long day, like it's dinner time, and you've been there since like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. Okay, yes, they wake you up into jail about 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning and get everybody that's going on that trip to prison ready to go to prison. So yeah, you do arrive at prison very early. So it's a long day. Also, before you go into, before they take you out onto the compound, you have to take a shower and you have to use this lice medication. They give you no shampoo that like to put in your hair afterwards. So you're walking in a dorm smelling like lice medicine, whether you have lice or not. I understand they do that to protect everybody. Okay, so you get to the dorm where you have to stay about 30 days, between 2 weeks and 30 days before you can be put into main population. Okay. Or for population before you can be put into population. So while you're in like reception area or whatever, this is what women are doing. They're preparing themselves to be as comfortable as they can as far as like what they need. So you have women hurrying up and writing letters to get to their family, friends, boyfriends, husbands, whatever, making phone calls because some women have been there before and they know that they tell their family what to do or whatever. So when they get to prison, they are already set up on the phone because family, friends, or loved ones have to put money on the phone in order for you to call. You can't just call collect. You can't do that no more. You have to have money to pick up that phone on your money account, JPay account, to make a phone call. So they're on the phones. They're calling anybody and everybody they can, to try to get money sent. Now in Florida, you didn't have to go through paperwork or get somebody approved, whoever's going to send you money. In Ohio, you had to get people approved. And it was a long process. Once you got them approved, then they could start sending you money. In Florida, it didn't work like that. Anybody could send you money through Western Union or JPay, money orders or whatever. Bring it to the prison, whatever. So this is what everybody's doing. They're trying to get set up so like I said, they can be as comfortable as possible in prison with food and hygienes and stuff like that. And you have your women there that money came with them. Like they prepared while they was in the jailhouse. They got their family or whoever to put money on their books in the jail. So, because they knew that that money would follow them to prison. So, after doing all that, getting, set up or whatever, excuse me, let's say well, no, let me back up a little bit. In the meantime, there's two different parts of the prison. This is Florida prison. There's an annex, which the reception's on the annex, and there's the main. There's horror stories about the main because it was the first buildings to be, it was the first buildings of the prison. So they're old. There's no AC. Big horse flies. Yeah, all kinds of it's horrible over there. It's horrible in the annex, but in the annex you have AC and new buildings. So you're wishing and praying to God you don't get sent to the annex. Or I'm sorry, not the annex, the main. So I got, I guess, lucky. I was kept on the annex. So I was sent to a dorm. And y'all, when you go in population dorm, they're looking at you like, people are sizing you up and they literally, now this is no joke, they literally watch what you're putting in your trunk, which a trunk is, I think it's 5x5, something like a trunk that you have to keep everything in. Your commissary, now imagine putting like $75 worth of commissary in that trunk, along with your underwear, socks, uniforms, books, whatever else you have, right? Shampoo, conditioner, all that stuff. It can be done. Trust me, it can be done. But back to when you first walk in, they are literally sizing you up, watching you put everything in your trunk, because I guess they're seeing if you got a lot of commissary and you got nice things, then you got money. And the game begins. Yes, this is the people that hustle in prison, and that's how they make it through prison. And trust me, ain't nobody gonna stop them from doing what they do. Because they make sure of that. So it's uncomfortable. I will say that it's uncomfortable, but pretty much no one really messed with me. I guess I got that RBS face. You know what I mean? But I didn't know. I knew a few people from prison because I didn't live in Florida. I had just was visiting for a short time. But how I knew some people is because I used to be a drug dealer in Florida. So I knew a few girls. Anyway, so even when you get over there, what really goes on, I mean, people, it's sort of like, I've never been on a college campus. I've never been, to college or anything, but it's sort of like a college campus where people get up and go to work every day. They have to. They're either going to the chow hall to make the chow, maintenance. They work. Some people work in the library. Some people work in the reception building, laundry. All kinds of jobs. So even if you're a houseman like I was, and a houseman is where you clean the dorm when everybody else goes to work. So you even have to get up and take care of all that before you can even like go out on the yard and just be bored really. Some people was in school. Florida didn't make anybody go to school the time I was there. The time I was there. But Ohio, if you didn't have a GED or a high school diploma, that was your job. School was your job. So you got up every morning and went to school, but not in Florida. In this case, really, I'm talking about Florida prison because I spent more time there in Florida. But really, I mean, after that's done, that's about, I don't know, maybe right before lunch, everything gets done. The sergeant says, hey, you can go outside or you can finally go shop for your canteen because you're not allowed to go shop for canteen. If it's canteen day, you're not allowed to go shop until the dorm's clean and stuff like that. Yes, people did sneak outside and, I managed, and I'm just keeping it real, y'all. I managed to sneak outside every single day without cleaning except for one day. One day she was on it. Only because once a month, I forget what they call it, but once a month, the big person, the big head captain comes by and out of the 4 dorms, or no, not 4, out of the 8 dorms, whoever's dorm's the cleanest, they get something. I forget what they, like, you don't get a prize or nothing, but that sergeant that runs that dorm gets the privilege of saying, we got the cleanest dorm. And Oscar won. Usually they had the cleanest dorm pretty much all the time. Not every month, but a lot. We had the cleanest dorm a lot. So after that, go out into the yard. I hope this is not boring, but I'm telling you what really goes on in prison. Like, so you're out in the yard and it's time for lunch. Everybody goes to the chow if you're going to chow, or you go inside and make your own lunch from your canteen. After that, you either sit in the yard, exercise. You're in your dorm. You can sit on your bed, or lay on your bed, but you're not allowed to get up underneath the covers until after, I think it was after 6, 6 p.m. It's really freaking boring in prison. It's a lot of thinking. Like, you got a lot of time to do a lot of thinking. And you're either thinking, good stuff like, hey, I don't want to ever be back here no more. Or you have, some women running around like they're just so happy to be there because it's a roof over their head, and because they were homeless and stuff on the street. So it's like they're, I don't know. I don't know how to really, what word to use for that. But then you had your women that was older and more mature and just taking care of themselves. You had your people that went around trying to get information from you because they're nosy. I mean, all kinds. I mean, just imagine 150 women in one big room living together. Can you imagine? Yeah, it's a lot of hormones. We used to sit, like the 4 of us used to sit and talk about our kids, or show pictures, read letters, write letters. Then you had your ones the hustlers. They were, always on the go, hustling, hustling, hustling. Um, I don't know, y'all. It pretty much, the days are long. The nights go by quick, but the days are long. And you just got a lot of time to think. Um, Many different stories. You have the ones that are innocent. You have the ones that are really innocent, and you have the ones they're always innocent, if you get my drift. You have the ones going around, wanting everybody to feel sorry for them. Me, y'all, I just kept to myself. I did have a few friends. I still talk to a few friends. I don't see, we don't do anything, go out or anything like that. I'll talk to them on, like Messenger. But, yeah, that's pretty much how it is in prison. I mean, it sounds boring. Maybe I'm leaving some stuff out. I mean, you want me to get more in depth? Well, we're only 16 minutes in. You have your lovers that are, I don't know, falling in love at the bunk together. I don't know, taking care of business in the shower. One time, I'm going to tell you this story. One time I got up to go to the restroom, right? and y'all, mind you, I didn't get no one's business. I didn't care what they did, as long as they wasn't hurting nobody. And even then, for real, like, I didn't get into, no, that's not mine to deal with. I am not dealing with it. I am not getting in no one's business. I keep my nose to myself. You know what I mean? That way, everybody knew JoJo was cool. She don't see nothing, hear nothing, know nothing. Just don't mess with her, and everything will be okay. Well, that's how I was. Well, I got up to go to the restroom, and there was this girl standing there eating a honey bun. And yes, a honey bun can get you a lot of things in prison. Just saying. Get your clothes washed. It can get your hair braided. It can get your eyebrows done. It can get you, a lot of stuff. Anyway, I went to go to the restroom. She was standing there eating a honey bun. She was like, "You can't go in here. Come in here." I'm like, "Do what?" She says, "You can't come in here." And I said, "Says who?" She says, "Says me." I says, "Watch me. I got to go to the restroom, and I'm coming, and I'm going in there." As I was walking in there. And I guess I shocked her, like, because I had seen two people as I was walking turn around and go back to their bunk. I'm like, I didn't think nothing of it till I got there. Ain't nobody going to, listen, I knew what was going on in the restroom or in the shower once she said that. I didn't care. I'm going to use the restroom, and ain't nobody going to stop me. Even if a guard was standing there and I had to use the restroom, I would at least try, you got to go. You know what I mean? So that stuff's going on. You got people in this corner. They might be writing raps, rhymes, crafting. People are crafting. Just all kinds of things. Like if you just, because I was kind of like in the middle of the room, and I would just sit and listen to my music and just look around and watch everybody. I mean, so much stuff was going on around you. You know what I mean? Shoot. It's a lot to take in. It really is. And was it enough to teach me, hey, I don't want to come back here. This is not for me. Yes, it was. Now, people might say, JoJo, but you went to prison again. But mind you, when I went to prison in Florida, or got sentenced to prison in Florida, Ohio, when I was due to go home, Ohio said no, they was not going to extradite me to Ohio from Florida. They knew I would be back to Ohio because that's where my family and my kids and stuff were. So they knew I would be back. So I'd already had that charge in Ohio. That's why I went ahead and turned myself in years later to get it over with. So, yes, being put in prison in Florida, it did help me some. It didn't fully like renew my mind or anything, but a lot. Like I don't want that life. And when I tell y'all, I get DMs from people, and definitely would never release names or anything like that, but DMs from people saying, someone they love is stealing and heading for a bad life and stuff. Anybody watching this, if you're younger or older and you're starting out stealing and lying and stuff like that, I promise you, man, that's going to lead to you a life of jail, and much other things. And you don't want that. You really don't. Please, please. I might not be the best storyteller or, motivational speaker. I'm just telling you my life story, like what I went through to help y'all. Please, please, don't do like I did. It's not worth it. Just live your life simple. Live your dreams. Write them down. Write them down. And then, because if you write something down, make it happen. You know what I mean? You can do it. Like, you can do it. If you're young and you want to be a doctor or a lawyer or a cop or whatever you want to be, you can do it. I promise you. If you're hanging around a bunch of, as my mama used to call them, hoodlums, you could still be their friend, but from a distance. Because if you hang around, y'all, if you hang around negativity, guess what? You're going to be negative all the time. If you hang around happy, go lucky people, you're going to be that. If you hang around, go do, they're going to get it done, and they get stuff done, and they talk positive. Your mouth is powerful. Like, you speak life or death out of your mouth. I promise you this. Be positive. Don't be like me in the past. No, I'm not perfect by no means at all. No means at all. But I will tell you, I have changed. I'm a changed woman. I'm drug-free, almost 5 years. Praise God. And I always put myself in other people's shoes. Yes, I'm human. Some things can get through my skin, and I let it, but that's okay. It don't happen all the time. But that's not this video, so let me stop before I go into another video that ain't about this topic. But y'all, prison, that's what prison is all about. Sorry, y'all. A phone call, I got interrupted, so I apologize. I forgot to put my phone on airplane mode. But y'all, I love you. I will be doing a cake, prison cake video soon for y'all. We're almost at 5,000. Yay. So if you made it this far and you haven't subscribed yet, please consider subscribing and sticking around and being part of JoJo's Fam Bam. Here at JoJo's Fam Bam, we're positive. We love people. We forgive. You know, we just love, man. No bullies allowed. No, we put the bullies in their place. But or just stop back by and watch my video, however you want to do it. But consider subscribing, y'all. I love y'all so much. And I know I haven't been making consistent videos on YouTube, but I am going to get a schedule, or make a schedule. I would like to do a video every other day because I got so much to tell y'all. And hopefully I get better at how I, tell stories, because I was told that I'm a shitty storyteller. But that's okay, because it ain't going to stop me. I know I go from one point to the other or whatever, but y'all know, y'all love me anyway. That's why I love y'all. Y'all, please be kind to yourself. Be kind to others. Smile at somebody. You never know, it might save their life. I know I love y'all. And I'll be back here soon. Until then, know JoJo loves you and God does too. Bye.